Well, good evening, everybody. How in the hell are we doing out there? Uh-oh. Empress says she can't hear anything. I may have gone deaf. Well, hopefully not. I hope not. I heard it on my end, so I'm guessing it might just be a little delayed. You'll be seeing it come up here shortly. But tonight, it's Monday night, folks. Monday night is back to being cussing around the camp. Wow, that's weird. It looks like I'm grabbing absolutely nothing over here. That's weird. That's okay. Anyway, anywho, it's cussing around the campfire night, and we have a fun one for you tonight. We don't, you know how cussing around the campfire goes. You just never know exactly where the conversation is going to go, but that's part of the fun of this. And tonight, damn, I was so on time. I was early. Yeah, exactly. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some 2A issues, the Second Amendment. And we have someone special on tonight, Mr. Grotness. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, Montana?
Hey, I like the shirt, by the way. You know, I have a what do you want to call it? A jig to build those out of wood, and it's a pain in the ass, but they end up really cool. I even have the wood dye to color all the wood, you know, the red and white and blue, but it's all fun right up until you get to the star part and you have to carve all them little bastards out by hand. It's not fun anymore at that point. But so tonight we're talking about the Second Amendment and the attacks upon it, because it sure appears that we're having more and more. Now we're winning some places and we're losing some places, but it's kind of a cat and mouse game right now. The ATF comes up with new rules and regulations, and the either the appellate court or the Supreme Court tells them, yeah, you can't do that. So then they go back and rewrite it. Yeah, it's just, you know, like I said, it's a big cat and mouse game, but guess who's stuck in between there getting batted around like the fuzzy ball? That'd be us. Yeah, it's unfortunately, it's you're a felon, you're not a felon, you're a felon, you're not a felon. What the fuck?
Am I good or bad? Come on.
Yeah, no, well, you know, basically, if you have black gun, you're bad. That's just racist bastards. They don't like their black guns. Anyway, I still need to get that shirt, by the way, in my MFer repertoire. I have one that's the AR-15 just blacked out, and it says it's because I'm black. So I don't know how that'll go over. But I figured tonight we're going to start it off with a level of the competency that we're dealing with here on the people that are pushing this lovely agenda. So I have this lovely montage of Americans speaking about their firearm knowledge. The unfortunate problem is these are a lot of Americans that are in higher up positions. So without further ado, we should probably watch this.
It's the availability of a double-barrel magazine extended clips. Double-barrel magazine extended clips. Double-barrel magazine extended clips.
I want one.
Take a look at this video used to shoot a watermelon using an AR-15.
This right here has ability with a .30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
This is what an AR-15 sounds like.
Voy a la playa, ya subió la marea.
But some of these bullets, as you saw, have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
And for all you haters out there that think I'm very stupid for doing it now, there's one less.
No, there is one more highly illegal rifle.
highly
illegal.
Senator Dianne Feinstein, Democrat in the Senate, who is introducing a bill to ban bump stocks, says that's not enough. Legislation is the answer.
I'm also the only guy that got assault weapons banned, and the number of clips in a gun banned.
What's a barrel shroud and why should we regulate it?
I actually don't know what a barrel shroud is. I
because it's in your
a shoulder thing that goes up.
There's been a lot of people that have been shot by an unloaded gun.
We need to ban the massacre of machine gun magazines.
Yeah, those massacre machine gun magazines. General Mark Hertling served in the U.S. Army for 37 years, so he knows what the AR-15, which used to be a weapon of war.
No! No! No!
What's the efficacy of banning these magazine clips? I will tell you, these are ammunition. They're bullets. So the people who have those now, they're going to shoot them. And so if you ban them in the future, the number of these high capacity magazines is going to decrease dramatically over time because the bullets will have been shot and there won't be any more available.
We lose 93 million Americans a day to gun violence. I mean, I've long talked about this.
We have federal regulations and state laws that prohibit hunting ducks with more than 3 rounds, and yet it's legal to hunt humans.
Please don't go searching for the human hunting license. Even if you find it online, it's not going to be real.
If I wanted to fire this on full semi-automatic,
90% of the time I have no idea what the I'm talking about.
Let's get serious here.
But that would ban most pistols. That would ban most...
No, but pistols are different. You have to pull the trigger each time. An assault weapon, you basically hold it, goes...
All my life, I still hunt with my son, but an AR-15 is not for hunting. It's for killing.
Well, how do you hunt, asshole?
Automatic weapons, they're not for hunting. They do nothing. They're only there to kill. And you'll notice that a lot of the things that have happened with automatic weapons. When we see that, why don't we say, you know, who really needs to have one other than people who are at war?
truly automatic weapons we don't have. You know, we banned truly automatic weapons, I think, in 1930.
But we still got a
double barrel magazine extended clips, double barrel magazine extended clips, double barrel magazine extended clips.
You feel stupider for having heard that?
Where do you want to start? You want to start with double-barreled magazine extended clips? Or the incendiary heat-seeking ammunition that you can buy. I didn't know we had heat-seeking ammunition. I mean, we have heat-seeking weapons. I don't know about bullets.
These people make laws, bro.
I know. Well, they were talking. That's why they were talking, was they were writing the laws, or they were attempting to pass legislation.
Have you heard the saying that it would just be better to take the first 400 names in the phone book and throw them in Congress?
Yeah, but yeah, I have, and they're
You know
probably
what I'm
not.
saying?
They're
Like
not far off.
The likelihood of the probability of having a higher IQ is I don't know, really high.
Yeah. The good news is, if we ban enough of those high capacity magazines, they're just going to run out of bullets. Then
we should ban the Congress people.
But so these are the people that are instructing the ATF on what they need to do, and that are attempting to pass laws that make absolutely no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's some heat-seeking bullets. That's what I'm saying.
Well, what I liked is they had a 223, they had a 308, and then they jumped all the way to a 50 cal. It was pretty impressive. And none of those, I mean, even the Raufoss round, which is probably the most expensive ammunition for a 50 caliber. I don't remember it having heat-seeking capabilities. I mean, it'd be cool, but
expensive.
It would be expensive.
Can you imagine if you put a guidance assembly on freaking every single bullet, every round?
And then put it in a Modus and see what happens?
A double barrel magazine?
Yeah. The double, what was it? Double barreled clip magazine?
It'd be crazy. Be crazy.
Just have them fucking steering everywhere out there.
Yeah, man. Be an $80,000 round. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. What is in an ammo case of linked 50 cal? What is there, like, is there 500 or 1,000? So $80,000 a round. Let's say 500 rounds in that box. I mean, that thing's by weight, it would be more expensive than gold.
It'd be hella accurate though.
Oh, well, ish. I mean, you got to remember, shit steering around on the battlefield is not probably the best idea because there's some.
You could so if you had some and you're shooting at me, I'm running around with chaff and flare in my hands, just like throwing it up in the air.
What's Grot doing? I don't know.
He's got heat-seeking bullets, man. He's got heat-seeking bullets.
But that's the stupidity. That's the actual stupidity that is in Congress. The people that make fucking laws are the ones that are saying this shit. I mean, come on. And the idea that you're going to get rid of the magazines and then people will run out of bullets. I don't know how that fucking works. I'm so confused. I haven't heard anything at MSU. Actually, yeah, there is. Shots were fired at the campus of Michigan State University on Monday evening, and the police are asking everyone to shelter in place. Officials report shooting happened in the area of Michigan State Berkeley Hall. Now, so you don't really know if it was, I don't know. And police are active at the scene. Okay. So, I don't know. Doesn't sound like anyone witnessed anybody firing a firearm. It just sounds like they've heard shots, I guess, so far. But that was, let's see, when the hell was that reported? Let's see, published at 8:50 and updated at 9:04. So yeah, it wasn't too long ago. Wow. You know what? I bet you if there was a kid there that had a gun, this wouldn't be happening.
Bet you if you had a black gun, it would have worked.
Now, hold on now. So they've moved. The window has moved. You didn't hear the sheriff in LA County?
No, are gray guns bad now?
Well, no, the last mass shooting that we had.
Oh, no. I don't try to keep up with them.
Oh, well, it was due to a high-capacity assault pistol.
Can you get more specific? Because I don't know what that is.
That was as specific as he got. This is the sheriff of LA County.
High capacity assault. He said pistol, not revolver.
Yeah, yes, he said assault pistol. So I'm guessing it was a semi-automatic with like 17 rounds.
Like a Glock.
Yeah. That would be a high capacity in California standards.
It's not 30, so it's lower than what I'm used
Well, yeah,
to.
but remember they banned I think up to 5. Anything over 5 is considered high capacity.
California?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's either 5 or 10.
Oh. Yeah,
But
they're not real people.
yeah, Raid says semi-automatic. That's right. He said a semi. Did he say semi-automatic? Or it was a semi-automatic. Okay.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I don't
yeah.
want people to die, but I mean, it's a thing that happens.
Well, at least get your fucking verbiage right. I mean,
Let's say things that are real.
yeah, you're trying to fit the narrative again instead of actually saying what happened. this high capacity assault pistol is what did all the damage. You mean a pistol?
You mean a fucking psycho?
Yeah, you mean a nutbag with a firearm. I mean,
fucking psycho. Like that's the root cause here, right?
Ask Nancy Pelosi about that assault hammer that her husband got to keep. I mean,
come on, yeah.
Yeah. Or what was it? Was it this morning? The assault U-Haul that I saw driving around, and
was it high capacity? Did it have 4 people in it? Or more?
I'm thinking. Well, it was high capacity because it had a large box behind it.
Double
barreled box magazine. I'm guessing
double chassis.
Yeah. And he ran over a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
High capacity semi-automatic assault pistol was how the guy described it, according to Raid. And Raid's, he's up on the shit. Yeah. So that's the sheriff of LA County. Not a deputy sheriff, not that's the sheriff of LA County. Think he's been around a few firearms? Maybe.
Probably. So he did it on purpose.
That's what I'm saying.
Because at least in that field, he can't be a complete moron. And he could be stupid. But just through attrition, he would have acquired some verbiage and nomenclature. Right? So he did it on purpose. Which means he's disingenuous, he's a liar. So it makes him pretty much a bad person.
Yeah, I'm guessing as they were, doling out equipment for the sheriff's department, they probably had to order some semi-automatic pistols. But evidently he only looked for the high capacity assault pistols. That was high capacity semi-automatic.
Yeah, I've never owned one of those.
I haven't either. I mean, I've seen the So Raid says, I asked a deputy from another department and he said that the sheriff is a libtard plant. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. That's probably accurate.
I mean, I can see how he would be elected there, right?
Yeah. String of lights that started around 20 minutes later.
Tracking.
Oh.
I see what Raid's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got these people that are coming out with laws that are going to, wow, that was fun. I moved. Infringe on our, of course, it's not important to have a Second Amendment right, is it?
You asking me?
Why, just somebody else in that room?
I mean, so as a mostly anti-federalist, like I disagreed with the 10 amendments, right? But the fact that the Federalists got them in there, okay. I understand what went on in the Continental Congress to put them in there, and so fine, okay. So if you're going to list these things and say that the citizen has these explicit rights, right? Instead of just saying we have all rights except for these enumerated to the federal government. If you're going to say, okay, finally, citizen, you only have these rights. And then after all of the debate and screaming and like, okay, you finally put it down on paper. And what they finally put down on paper after all of the screaming and arguing with each other was, shall not be infringed. They didn't flippantly put it in there. I can only imagine the cussing and F-bombs thrown by a bunch of founding fathers. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you, Hamilton. No, fuck you, John Jay. Right? Like, I could totally see this happening. Like, I'm serious.
But
right?
they were, hold on though, they were only talking about the National Guard, the state's military, the militia, not the...
Who was the militia? It was every single person.
No. Everyone
that had a backhoe. Everyone that had a backhoe was the militia. I got a backhoe. It's in my garage. Therefore, they were talking about everybody.
Not according to these people that were just talking about firearms. No.
With the double-barreled magazine, not these people.
Yeah, those people.
They're the reason why we have it, and it shall not be infringed. But the fact that they say that is the reason why we have the Second Amendment.
Yeah, but the whole shall not thing is not. It's not working anymore, though. They're infringing already.
So then I would side with Uncle Krusty and say it's unlawful.
Sure. And
so then you get to the so then the lesser magistrates have to impart on behalf of the citizenry and not enforce the unlawful dictate from the tyrant. That's what's supposed to happen.
So, like when you have a sheriff stand up and say, "No, I'm not doing that because it actually goes against the Constitution."
That's right. It's the doctrine of the lesser magistrates. Yeah.
And then they replace that sheriff with Mr. High Capacity, semi-automatic assault pistol. Now what?
I mean, that can only happen a certain amount of times until you have a freaking war, right?
Oh, so eventually we got there. Okay. All right.
Well, I think eventually you get there anyways. That's what Plato says, right?
That is true. That is true.
I mean, eventually you get there anyways. Like, how quickly do you get there? It just depends on how fast tyranny is allowed and facilitated. That's how fast the Plato's Republic cycles through. So, like, eventually you get there anyways. Can hopefully, we do things that are lawful and we have the hand of God appointed upon us, and we stave that off for a time, right? But it's only for a time.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we have enough things going on now that if something does pop off, the whole patriotism thing will fire up, and we'll all forget about all these problems, and we'll just be fighting a larger foe. It happens every time. I mean, huge economic problems, 9/11. More huge economic problems, the Iraq-Afghan war. More huge economic problems, and now we're sitting here staring at some other problems that we can't talk about. I know.
So, so you and Uncle and I were on a stream a year ago. We were predicting a whole bunch of stuff, and we were right on a whole bunch of stuff. And that doesn't make me feel good, but
no, because what we were talking about wasn't good. I can remember that stream.
Yeah, in some ways, I feel a lot better right now though than I did a year ago. Mostly just from the economic side of things, like things are bad. I know they're bad, but those certain key indicators went away. So now it's still fake, right? Our money is still fake. All this is fake.
Yeah.
It's fake, right? But at least those indicators went away, and so now it's like a slow game. It's a slow game.
So now you're questioning: did the indicators go away, or are they just well hidden?
I think they're well hidden.
I'm thinking, because I mean, I know we're not going to talk about this, but there was a certain speech given here recently that talked about the wonders and amazement that is the United States of America's economy.
Yeah,
and we're super strong. Nah. It's funny because the USDA just came out and said, "Hey, food inflation prices are going to continue through 2023." I would think if you had a strong economy, why do you have such horrible inflation, especially on something important as food? But hey, but we don't need a Second Amendment. We don't need one.
So did you hear that Texas is suing? I mean, obviously Texas is suing the federal government on it. So that's good.
Yeah, for the it's the suppressor ban, isn't it? Is what started it all?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought that was the one that kicked it all off for the, if it's made in Texas, stays in Texas, the federal government can go fuck themselves because you guys aren't in the midst of interstate commerce. Then it has to be sold in Texas, stayed in Texas, built in Texas.
Yeah, then it's intrastate, right?
Yeah. Then the ATF came out and said, no, that doesn't work. And now it's, now it has escalated to a lot more things than just a suppressor. So we'll see what happens. And I will forewarn you, Montana tried this about 7 years ago. It went nowhere. But at one point in time, Montana said that if it's built in Montana, registered in, or, and is classified as a resident of Montana buying it and it stays here, the ATF actually has no control over any of the manufacturing. So whether it be the firearm, whether it be the pistol brace, which is fucking retarded, whether it be a suppressor, any of that, you take the ATF rules, crumple them up, throw them away. Basically, it's the Montana Constitution, the state or the federal Constitution, and if those two mesh, well, go fuck yourself. It's in Montana.
Right. It's not federal jurisdiction until it starts crossing.
Yeah. Now, the problem that we ran into was getting the manufacturing here. Because how the federal government argued it was, well, you still have to buy your steel from out of state because Montana doesn't have a foundry, and you still have to buy this from out of state because you don't have that in your state. So you're still doing interstate commerce to produce that weapon. So it still falls under the federal jurisdiction. Just to give you a heads up.
So if you used gas that was piped in through Canada into Montana and you were using that fuel, then is it, yeah. So now you have to abide by Canadian rules.
Well, according to what the courts found was we should have to abide by. I know. I'm like
the oxygen you're using New York's oxygen.
Well, that's that little tidbit and many others of recent has reminded me that you truly own absolutely nothing in America.
I know. So are you free?
No shit, no.
If you can't own anything,
it feels good though.
But wasn't that the measure of freedom? Like if you had private property back in the day, right? Like if you don't own anything, you're not.
I'm pretty sure that's the reason that we started all this shit. Was you're renting from the crown. The crown's also charging you taxes. Fuck the crown. We throw your tea in the water, and here we go.
We want to own our own stuff, right?
But what do you know? I mean, that American spirit is. Anyway,
they're in this chat room. That's where the American spirit is.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. There's only like 11 of us in here right now. So that's we got that going for us, which is nice,
At least it's there, right?
True. But yeah, so there we go again. You don't need the Second Amendment, right?
I do. I
mean, you just throw tea over the side of a boat and everything's fine, and then Magna Cartas get signed, and that's how that happens, right? You don't need to defend yourself in any way, shape, or form. The government will take care of you. You'll own nothing, and you'll be happy.
The government better protect me if they're going to make me live in a crazy liberal city with all of the crime. I better have my own personal bodyguard that has a gun.
When did you move to Austin? No, I'm kidding. Sorry. That was probably low. I'm sorry.
Bro. For real, right? You want me to live in a liberal city and also not have a gun?
Sure. Why is this a problem? Everybody's peace, love, and rock and roll in liberal cities, man.
If they knew how to run their fucking cities, we'd be fine.
Seattle's doing wonderful. Portland is great. San Francisco.
If we lived in the liberal utopia that they dream of so much, then we wouldn't need guns. But it's impossible and it doesn't exist. So fuck off and let me defend myself.
So I was thinking about this. Yeah, and you'll remember this conversation because you and I were at wit's end. You remember our good friend Ridge, and you remember when we were talking about the social utopia?
Yes, I do.
And
I was actually in my car. I was driving across America on the phone. Yeah, I remember this.
And you remember how he was all for the utopia, and you and I were both sitting there going, "It won't work. It doesn't work." I would not call Ridge a liberalist by any means.
No.
I would lean towards libertarian.
For sure.
But but definitely not liberalist. So that scares me a little bit that a
Well, he was older.
libertarian.
He was older.
He was older than us. Yeah, I will say
And
that.
so he was, 15 years older than us, maybe 20.
Mhm.
And a lot of my uncles, right, are Ridge's age, and
Mhm.
and they believe the same thing, especially the ones that lived up north. And I know Kentucky's not that north, right? That still is considered the South, but my northern uncles and stuff believe in that utopia. They
Mhm.
do. And I can talk to them completely about it, right? And I can be like, we have sin nature, and there's no way that we can ever do that, and it's impossible to ever attain because of that. And they won't have any. They will pursue it unto death, and that's what they'll get. They'll get shot or mugged by some dude with a freaking knife or a double-barrel magazine, and that's it. They'll never get it.
Double-barreled magazine clip. Yeah, Radon Antifa says that's why I have a CCW permit in 2 states at Montana Free. Portland. Yeah, no shit. Reciprocity is nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the utopia thing is great. Just, I can't. I'm the type of person that always looks back to history to figure out if something is going to work in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not found a spot yet back in history that a utopia worked. I can remember a lot of high-ranking officials bloviating about how they wanted a utopia and how they attempted to set up a utopia. And it failed miserably. The Weimar Republic was, it was ripe for the picking for somebody that promised a utopia. Wasn't necessarily a utopia where you wanted to be a Jew or an Egyptian or a black or but it was a utopia. Russia, before it went back to being Russia, when it was the communist Soviet Union, was based upon a utopia. We have a government-owned company that builds cars. You're going to buy your car from this government-owned company. But don't worry, we're going to give you government funds to buy your government car from this government company. Yugos. It's where they came from. Want to talk about the biggest piece of shit ever created in the automobile industry? Yugos. But, so that failed. Venezuela failed. The Communist Republic of China is still attempting the utopia as we speak. Gigantic government-built cities where everybody's going to move to, and we're going to take care of you, and you're basically going to live in the factory that you work in. If anybody watched that AI show that we played today, you saw the actual factory where these people live in it, get married in it, their kids go to school in the factory. You never leave your work, and you're taken care of. Ish. Sir Lurks-a-Lot says utopia is a lie and it will not happen. No, there's one utopia, but it takes us a while to get there, and you got to be dead. So you got that going for you, which is nice. So you had your finger up. You wanted to say something, sir.
Oh, no. I agree with you. So Plato explains what the utopia is, right? Like, you take the children away at birth, like you groom them in their part of society, and so that's all that they ever know. And they all have their specific purpose and class and tier, and it doesn't work. It ends in warfare because you can't keep the beach ball of freedom underwater, is what Dan Bongino says. Like, you can keep suppressing it with tyranny and authoritarianism, but eventually that beach ball just comes shooting out of the water. And the further down you push it, the harder it comes swinging up. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a great analogy. Like, and so even in Plato's Republic, it doesn't work. It doesn't even work philosophically. So it sure as shit won't happen in practice.
Well, and that's why they talk about, back again when you and I and Ridge were talking, I talked about the pendulum. that you always have a pendulum in society. And I'm not talking about a political pendulum. It's the belief of society. So you have a swing this way and you're a little moderate, and then we swing back this way and you become a little more freewheeling with the federal money and power, and then you swing back this way, and now that person goes, you guys were crazy, and they stop everything that happened before, and then this guy goes, well, I'm all pissed off, so then it swings back this way harder. And at this point, we're now way out on the edges and we're swinging very violently. Now there's two things that are going to happen. Either the pendulum just continues to swing and swing and swing and gets further away and further away and further away, or something, you have that whole Newton's law thing, or something much larger than the pendulum has to stop it and start it over again. And what scares me is what that thing is that can stop that pendulum. Because it's going to reach out and just grab a hold of that sumbitch and hold it still again for a long time. And then it might let go and let it wiggle just a little bit. But it's going to have a hold, and nothing is going to happen. Nothing good is going to happen for a long period of time. And that's where I'm scared, because I don't think human nature won't allow it to continue to swing. I mean, we'll pass it point, or take it past the point of rescue, and then something will step in. Whether it be a full-on World War III, whether it be the hand of God, whether it be some idiot with his finger on a button. You just don't know. But something is going to stop the pendulum. It's just at what point has it gone too far? And I don't know if we're there yet or not. I don't think we are. But I don't think it's far away. So now you have two options. Either you back down civilization and try to get that pendulum swinging back more towards center, or you just stay out of the way, and it kind of like a runaway diesel. Stay out of the way and let it scatter. Where are we at? Where's your best guess?
I don't think anyone's trying to stop it.
Okay, so
so those who are causing it to swing aren't trying to stop it. I think that those of us who are not legislators, right, there's nothing that we can do. I think that you see people try to stop it. We just don't have the power to do it, right? Not by ourselves. Like, you have to go in mass, and then even when you're in mass, we see what has happened over the last few years with people that try that. So I think you're left with no recourse, right? Like, not without drawing arms, actually. Like, people are trying to do it. Citizens are trying to do it peacefully, and it's when they do it peacefully, they're called domestic terrorists. When you go to a school board meeting, for God's sake, right? You know what I mean? Like, and that's a peaceful measure. Like, just because I'm using loud words at you doesn't mean it's violence, right? Like, violence is like, hey, school board, I can't say what I want to say, right? But it's the opposite of it, right? So, like, that's violence.
Yeah, and there's the problem is you haven't even got to the violence point even at that point. You have a propensity towards violence at that point. I mean, you have said some things in emotion that probably can raise some hair on people. You sons of bitches, let's see.
But it's not Minority Report, right? Like, don't arrest me.
Yeah, exactly. Although, again, if you watch that AI program that we watched today, it's closer than you think. Imagine wearing a Fitbit that happens to tell the federal government when you may have a propensity for crimes. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? You have an AI watching you on your Fitbit and goes, okay, wait a minute. This guy just lost his job. He's upset. He just stopped at a gun shop. We probably need to arrest him and do it now. Not, wait till something happens. That whole innocent until proven guilty thing is going out the window. And look at that. We circled back around to the whole 2A thing. Red flag laws. There's your first loss of innocent until proven guilty. And many states are pushing it through. Why? Because here we go again. We're not trying to treat we're not treating the infection. We're treating the symptoms. We're not trying to figure out why so many people are having mental breakdowns. We just want to make sure that they don't have a firearm before they do go completely fucking cattywampus. So now you can turn your neighbor in if you see him out there talking to himself and cutting the lawn with a pair of scissors, and they can come and take all of his guns away. And then he has to explain to the state that you live in, which, by the way, is in a courtroom, but without a jury. And he's not allowed to have representation because technically it's not a trial. You just get to go to the judge and say, no, I'm really not crazy. I'm perfectly okay. And then he's going to order you to take some state funded testing. And we all know how state funded hospitals work this last go round. I'm sure there won't be a propensity to, diagnose more people with some mental illnesses when they really were just having a bad day. And you don't get your guns back. Ever. Period. You're now on a list. You literally will break the law if you go to try and buy another firearm because you have been red flagged. But you're right, that propensity to, charge somebody that haven't even committed a crime yet, that's not happening yet. Right? No. Wait a minute. Oops. Anyway. So all those things that we talked about for the past 2-3 years, I'm beginning to think I should have just played country music because I don't know where the help was. Other than me starting to feel like the guy that's standing on the corner with the cardboard sign that says the end is nigh. Although I think we hopefully those tests aren't state funded, Montana free. Well, yes, you have to pay for them, but the state, I guess I should have said the state controls the testing, not funding the testing. So, so you get to pay for your test that's going to prove that you're crazy.
If you have really good insurance, it only costs you $350.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
get your stuff back.
Yeah, well, ish. That just pays for the test.
Just the test.
Yeah. You still got to figure out the rest of it. I'm sure there'll be I'm sure there'll be like how to pass it exactly. And I'm sure there'll be some fines involved with it, because you did take resources away from the county. So somebody will have to pay for that. Not your neighbor, of course, or your ex-girlfriend that's pissed off at you, or your ex-wife that's pissed off at you. Or
they might pay for it.
Careful, gonna get red flagged.
No, I'm just saying they probably have $350. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but I highly doubt they're gonna. Well, anyway,
they probably donated it. They're just probably happy that you really are okay, and that you just like a really nice lawn, and that's why you were using scissors.
I only say that because literally my neighbor 2 houses down, I caught him one night with a headlamp on and a pair of shears edging his lawn.
You know who else did that? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right?
Was it?
I think he did.
He was edging his lawn with a pair of shears?
I think he was. He was hovering over his lawn, right? Using that contraption that he made.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or maybe he was just looking with a magnifying glass. I can't remember.
Yeah. No, this one he was literally sitting out there on the ground with a headlight on, shearing his grass.
Was it a beautiful lawn, though?
Oh, it was immaculate.
Yeah, bet.
And he's also he was He was the groundskeeper for the high school here.
Oh,
So he was exactly. Yeah. So when you first drive by, you go, "What the? Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. I know who it is." Just keep driving.
That's Joe. He's just doing Joe things.
Yeah, exactly. He's
We're going camping. He's tending his lawn, right?
exactly. But even then, it never even crossed my mind to say, "Well, geez, I probably should call the county and have them stop by and make sure that Joe doesn't have any firearms because he's a little crazy." I mean, that's never even came into my mind, but evidently it's getting to be a pretty popular thing.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, when people get mad at other people, they levy false charges all the time, whether it be rape or battery or, neglecting the kids. Like, this is a total thing. So now you just gave those crazy people who are crazy and should probably not have a firearm, you gave them another reason, another avenue. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have firearms.
Well, there's a lot of individuals that live in this country that probably shouldn't own a firearm.
How about we just not infringe? How about we just follow what it says?
That's a silly idea. Why would you want to do that?
Anyway. Yeah.
It's like there's a law or something on the book somewhere that says you're not supposed to do that. But
it's written in cursive,
Yeah. Hey, you ever notice how schools
maybe the liberals can't read cursive?
Do you ever notice how schools don't teach how to read cursive anymore?
That's it. How can you read the dang law if you can't read cursive? It's right behind you, actually. It's in your backdrop.
Well,
if you can't read that, how can you know what the rule is?
It's also right underneath me too.
Oh, is that Times New Roman? Is that what that is?
This is the U.S. Constitution and other writings. So this is let's see, Canterbury Classic.
Nice, man.
And let's see, we go everywhere from the Mayflower Compact to today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Pick it up at Costco for a whopping $15.99.
It's a steal. That's awesome.
But yeah, it's actually right behind me there. But there again, and you remember I brought this up a couple of years ago that I said there's a reason that public schools are no longer teaching the dying language of cursive. It's because kids just text now. That's why. All communication is through text and email, and there is nothing that is important that a child would have to read that's written in cursive.
Speaking of, right? Like, you don't teach that because they don't need it anymore. They're texting. I just watched a video a couple of days ago on this new AI essay builder.
Chat GPT.
Something, right?
My wife's already ran into it in 6th grade.
It was a different one though.
Oh.
It was like this other thing. Anyways, but like I think it's probably close to that. Like, you put your outline in there. These are the 3 things I want to talk about, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then it like produces like a 500-word essay or whatever. Like, why would you even need to teach English if someone's going to write a compound, complex sentence for you?
Oh, it gets worse than that. ChatGPT has actually passed the bar exams to become a lawyer.
Dang.
The AI had the ability to, okay, here's a test, pass it. Took about 2 runs at it, and then went, oh, okay, here you go. Passed it in like 23 seconds.
Holy cow.
That's why they're talking about having AI used in the courtroom.
Oh, man.
You should have watched the show today. Because it was all about AI and what's coming out. And
so, have you ever seen the dystopian movie called The Trial?
I haven't.
Rich showed it on his show. That's the only place that I saw it. I tried to go on Amazon Video. I couldn't find it. Like it said, like this video is not available. But Rich showed it on his show on DLive. It was called The Trial. And this guy was arrested and never told why he was arrested, and then found guilty.
Oh.
It was wild. Yeah, it was crazy. It was like he couldn't defend himself or anything. and he was making like completely cogent, logical arguments.
Would
And
this been like a 19? Was it a black and white?
yeah,
So like 1962, right there.
yeah, man, that's where I saw it on Rich's show. But it was basically the powers that be making decisions and you not being able to defend yourself. And if AI is in the courtroom, then is that eventually where you get to anyways? Because what are you going to do? Rebut the AI?
Yeah, when it has the ability to grab the NSA's computer and go, actually, back here in 1994, you remember when you made this statement?
Mhm.
No, I was a kid. Doesn't matter. You made it. Here it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, what are you going to do? Like, what's your counter argument to something that has all of the metadata on you for your entire being?
yeah. Can you imagine going up against an attorney that has all the metadata on you and has the ability to search it that quick?
Boom. It's the trial.
And produce it.
Mhm.
Not just search it, but produce it and show it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
You should watch the trial. If you didn't see it when Rich showed it, it would be the natural conclusion of putting AI in the courtroom. Like, it just moves that way. I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah.
I hope we're wrong, but we're probably
And
not.
I guess they're already using AI in China factories. There was some joking going on in the chats about the headbands that they make their employees wear. And what it does, it tracks the brain patterns and brain waves of the employee. And the AI is watching going, oh, wait a minute. So this person embezzled from us, but you know they didn't do it themselves. So that starts looking for compatible brain waves that has the same thinking as the person that embezzled and says, you should probably be watching these people because they have a propensity to be helping this person out because they're thinking the same way. Yeah. And that's now times, not future times. That's now times. Uh-huh. The difference is they just, they still have to make you put the hat on. But over there, it's pretty easy. But yeah, AI is pretty spooky. Well, and here we go again. So there was what the hell movie? What TV show was that? The AI used to call on a payphone and give the guy a social security number. And it was up to the person to go out and figure out what was going on, whether it was a criminal that needed to be submitted over to the law enforcement or whether it was someone who needed protection. And he had to figure that out. And he was, of course, a felon that was just really good at protection and had a propensity for violence. So the geek that produced the AI found him and he was kind of the enforcer of the whole thing. But yeah, it was a long-running series. I can't remember the freaking name of it for the life of me. Yeah, it was on like NBC for years.
Wow.
And now I don't know as we're too far away. So, but hey, it's fun. I love it here. It's so nice being in dystopia America. Hey, look at that. I can show the trial.
What? Why? You can't?
Yeah, I went to I went to Ridge's old account in BitChute, and he had it saved there.
Oh shoot!
So that's what I was playing around with when we were sitting here talking. But
dang, yeah, that's where I saw it. I was like, thanks, Ridge. Yeah.
Yeah, he was usually pretty good for them offshoot. Well, just like the nuclear war movie that we watched here not too long ago. That was one that Ridge.
I saw him. Yeah.
That was the one that Ridge and I never got to finish. We were going to talk about it, and we watched it, and never got to finish the review. So
that was a good movie too. I made my kids watch that one. Here,
you stupid bitch, get in here. Yeah, was it? But so I want to make sure. Let's see here. Is this the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we can watch that one of these nights. Orson Welles. Of course, it's an Orson Welles flick. Based on the novel by Franz Kafka. All right, we'll have to watch that. But yeah, so I mean, you have this, but there again, we don't need the Second Amendment, right?
I'll take it.
You think people are getting my point yet? Every time I talk about how shitty the world's turning, and then I say we don't need the Second Amendment. Hopefully, just maybe. But I know you can't even. Did you know that you can't even show on YouTube you putting a magazine in an AR-15 that's 30 rounds?
Why?
Your channel will be blocked and deleted.
Why?
It's against YouTube guidelines.
Why?
Because it doesn't fit the narrative. That's obvious. Oh, sorry.
Are they based in California?
I'm not for sure, but I know they have quite a few reps out of California. I think they are, though, because they're Google. Well, actually, I know they are because they're owned by Google.
So there you go. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. In fact, one of the, I don't know if you ever watched the guy, but he's a Texas native. It's Demolition Ranch. Mm-hmm. He actually almost just about lost his channel. Now we're talking millions of subscribers. This guy's a big YouTuber. And they shut his channel down for a small amount of time because he showed how to thread on a suppressor.
Wow.
And
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
That was against YouTube guidelines.
Maybe you should have just shown him how to screw in a screw.
No shit. Here's a nut. Here's a bolt. Get the picture? Well, but it didn't, that would have been fine because it wasn't about guns.
Yeah.
So there's this propensity.
This is the gun. This is
Yeah, exactly. This is the barrel. This is the suppressor. This is how it goes together. I don't And actually, if you have the money to buy the right flash suppressor, then it just goes like this and you twist it and it's all done. But but yeah, so YouTube has now got to the point where well, basically they're killing most of the gun culture on YouTube. Which, by the way, folks, there's a lot of gun culture on YouTube.
There's on Rumble.
Yeah, there's about to be a whole lot of them on Rumble. Speaking of which, if you haven't got a chance to check out Rumble, get your butts over there and look it up. I actually have a channel on there. You can go follow me if you want to, but you don't have to. It'd be nice because if we got to 25, we could stream there. But I'm not pushing the issue. But yeah, so you have the gun culture dying on YouTube. Most of the preparedness channels that I used to watch, I don't get notifications for anymore. They're still there. It's just when they release something, YouTube doesn't tell me that it's released. And when it goes to my For You page, it doesn't show up there. I have to literally search the content out and see if they've produced anything that's new. And that even goes for like the canning videos and stuff, which is odd to me because that's not really preparedness. Wonder why they'd be blocking the stuff that shows you how to save food. Anyway, speaking of which, have you used that expensive ass canner? Because if you haven't, I'm going to kick you square in the. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. So they're taking it to the farm. So my brother has been using it, and then I've been letting him use that, and then we've been letting each other use a lot of stuff. They actually brought over a whole bunch of eggs today.
Really?
Colorful bunch, yeah.
Were they washed?
I don't think so.
If they weren't washed, you're miles ahead. You remember watching that water glass?
Yeah.
Or that egg glassing? Right, there you go. Montana Free, what's the Rumble link? I am not really for sure. Is that bad? Should I know that? I don't even know where to find it. If you just look up Montana Free TV and Rumble, you'll find it. I don't really change my name too much anywhere else, but yeah. So Montana Free TV over on Rumble, you can find me there. Making sure I come up, but I'm baffled that there's so many people out there that don't see the benefits of the Second Amendment. It's very confusing.
And even if you never benefit from having the Second Amendment, you will surely feel the effects of not having it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And even if you, let's rephrase that, even if you think you've never benefited from having the Second Amendment, because I can guarantee you in Montana with constitutional carry, whether you carry or not, you're benefiting from everyone knowing out there that I don't have to have a license to put a firearm on my hip and hide it. So consider everyone armed, and an armed society is a polite society, and we just go along to get along. And the people that don't believe in guns benefit from that. But yeah, so it's wonderful in this dystopia that we live in. And we're getting closer to that Overton window every day. But you, sir, have to get the heck out of here. And I'm actually going to do the same too, because I'm going to end early. So, and actually, if you can stick around for a little bit, because I have some questions after the show. So if you want to just hang out in here, we can talk here. But we're going to get the heck out of here, folks. That's Montana's Rumble. Hey, look at that. You found it. Okay. Thanks, Raid. Appreciate it. I don't know how I became 2268522, but that's that. I've always been just a number. But yeah. So we're going to get out of here. I hope that people start paying attention to more than just the water balloons that are floating in the air. And, there's some things going on around the world and here at home that should be paid way closer attention to than. Yeah.
I'm Miss Montana.
Yeah. Grat says hi. Hey. So, but yeah, there's things going on out in the world that we need to be paying more attention to, and perhaps just not giving a fuck what the federal government tells us we have to do with our firearms. I'm not here to tell you to do that by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. But I'd have a tough time if somebody said, hey, if you're ever speeding, can you just call the sheriff's department and tell them how fast you were going so they can write you a ticket? Wouldn't you do that? Because that's what the ATF is asking you to do right now with pistol grip AR-15s. Just give us a call. Let us know you have it. It'll all be good. Don't worry. You got 120 days to get it all figured out. 40 million people with that stock, and 40 million stock sold, I guess I should say. And they're going to get it all done in 120 days. You think that's possible with the federal government? Anyway. So now you've just put yourself on a list and said that you have one, and you're officially a felon at the end of 120 days. But I'm not telling you not to get a hold of your local ATF agent and turn your firearm over to them, because that's what they want you to do anyway. All right, folks, we're going to get the hell out of here on that note. Crot, thanks for hanging out tonight, buddy. Let's see, what are we going to go out on? We haven't played that one in a while, so maybe we'll play that outro. But I appreciate it, sir. Your time is always very important to me, if it's not to anybody else. And I appreciate each and every one of you being out here and listening to this wonderful cussing around the campfire. So we're going to get out of here. Grot, do you have a word of advice for the folks on the way out the door? Duck and cover. Got it. All right.
We got a short-term dipshit right here, good for one impeachment. Gray-haired, liver-spotted, geriatric fuck, can't even speak a sentence, even with a teleprompter and somebody telling him what to say. One time he told me that the reason why thousands of Americans are homeless is because my dog shit in my neighbor's backyard, and then there was lasagna in the oven. I'm not sure exactly what all that means. But the hoe that's with him, she goes for free. Package deal. She's a real rip, let me tell you what. You won't find another bunch of fuck-ups like these ones. I mean to tell you, they'll screw up a country in no time flat. And what do you want to do here? And 30, now pawn, now let's go, Brandon. 30, now pawn, now but pawn. Now 30 pawn, now 2, now but 2, 2, 2, but 2. Look at that smile. That just screams I like to sniff girls. And what do you want to do here? 32, now 2, now but 2, 2. He'll leave a military for you. I'm looking at you, Kimmy Jong. And 32, now 3, now but 3, 3, 3. Putin's in, now 3, now but 3, 3, 3. Syria, now 4, now but 4, 4, 4. 34, now 5, now but 5, 5, 5, but 5. He'll give you a military, boys. Give you one. Now 35, now but 5, 5. Fuck your whole day. Now 5, now but 5, 6, 6, 6. 36, 36, but 6. Let's go now. 36.
Today's episode of How Fucked Up is Fucked Up. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.